I will be pitching a trailer from Simply Scripts, originally called The Haunting, but I felt that The Reminiscent would be a more effective name. A subgenre of this will be a psychological supernatural slash a slasher. The reason that I've bled into these subgenres is because of the kind of the use of the phallic object of a knife in the action kind of bleeds these two subgenres together. And the taglines that I have come up with are "The past always comes back," "He never left," and "Till death do part," seeing as this is kind of based on marriage, or the breakdown of marriage. So the synopsis of this trailer is: Marianne Collins spent years living under the oppressive reign of her husband. After he passes in a car accident, Marianne felt she had a new life ahead of her. However, something sinister has survived, with the intention of continuing what was left over in life. This was the synopsis, which was supplied by the person with a couple changes. So the themes in this is like the breakdown in marriage. The two weren't happy together, as the husband was quite oppressive and controlling. They had an argument and he crashed his car and he died. So in death he's back for revenge to ruin her, and also there's kind of a domestic abuse subtext behind that as well. The movie influences were Paranormal Activity, because of the subtext of domestic abuse that happened and kind of the hauntings and supernatural happenings. Insidious 2 was also a very big influence due to the editing techniques. You know, the antagonist of the woman antagonist that wears a dress, she appears and say the character walks past and she disappears in the distance. You know, it's things like that that I want to use for my trailer. And there's one scene where the woman is upstairs and downstairs the piano can be heard being played. Yeah, everyone's asleep, everyone's in bed, and it's also actually their wedding song, her and her husband's wedding song that's playing on the piano. And also a scene where a child's toy was triggered by itself. A Nightmare on Elm Street, which is my favourite horror movie, is also a big movie influence, as in the opening scene the character flitters between the dream world and the real world. However, even though he is being killed by Freddy Krueger, injuries that he's got seem to be self-inflicted. The target audience is mainly adults aged from 17 to 25. However, the age rating will be 15 and above. This is the mood board for my film, kind of picking out inspiration. Obviously the picture of the husband hitting his wife, for the kind of domestic abuse, even though it can happen both ways. In this instance, this is the case that it happens with. And in the bottom right you can see the scene from Insidious, in which I picked out the whole piano playing by itself scene, which I got inspiration for. And the light exploding is going to be one of the techniques that I'm going to use to kind of create tension, or like a jump scare. So the stages of my trailer will be: stage 1 will be shot in the house with a view of Marianne, you know, watching TV, and kind of like footsteps being heard upstairs, even though she's in the house by herself. And then like kind of like a voiceover, like just kind of introducing her and the situation. So that's established at the beginning. Then kind of like a montage of things flying around, just general strange happenings. Stage 2 will kind of, the editing will start to get faster, and there will be a scene where Marianne's running, she falls over, you know, a stock situation, shot of her with blood all over her with a knife. And the last stage will be with her in the hotel room, where she's supposed to call a reception, but her dead husband has actually replied to her. And then it will cut to the Reminiscent title slate, and then kind of like a jump scare at the end, with her husband in a reflection of a mirror. Conventions that I've used in this is phallic object of a knife. Stock characters using props narrative is the villain, the hero, the victim, and the donor. The donor will actually be like a parent or a friend who will, you know, maybe give her sleeping pills that kind of aid her her mind, put her mind at rest, which actually doesn't actually help her. And the stock situation is her falling over whilst being chased. And the age certification I've given to this is a 15 because whilst there is in the film, there would be a big battle scene between Marianne and her husband's corpse, or her dead husband. Nothing too gory and too sadistic happens. Therefore, I do believe that it's not strictly restricted to an adult. It would be suitable for people 15 aged and over.